Hello, Sumer. Hey, man. Cheers, dude. Me too. Hey, so Vic, let's get you connected.
Hello, Ritesh.
Hi, Shovik. How are you?
How are you, Ritesh? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, before we start, let me just give the viewers a small brief of what we're going to be doing today. So,
Yeah.
about a few months ago, that we started this thing called ISPL, and what it was a way where we could, in our homes, celebrate the spirit of cricket, and while we do it, we can also learn a lot of life skills. And how we planned on doing it is we wanted to organize a virtual auction where team owners come, build their own franchisee, bringing in their business knowledge. That's one side that we've not done
Yeah.
yet. But and the cricket aspect was bringing in an auction atmosphere and giving an opportunity for people to build their own squads. And today we've got Shovik, and he's participated with us in the third round of it, and hopefully we can do many more rounds. So, Shovik, how are you doing today?
Yeah. Before starting, I'd like to congratulate you on hosting an amazing auction. Firstly,
Thank you.
Ritesh and Richard
Thank you.
from Crickheart, like how I thought, online, on call, how it would be and how you guys prepared the auction and how you guys went about it. And even after that, the amount of preparation you guys have done. And just not only the ISPL, the amount of work you guys are doing in Crickheart, it is just inspiring as a guy who loves cricket and plays cricket. It's just too good. And I just loved the way you guys thought of an idea about the auction. And yeah,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, did you have fun while doing it? While, of course, like learning something out of it and taking away.
definitely. I think I learned a lot, and it's just not that only one aspect of the cricketing or how you make your team. It was
Yeah,
also about working with different people, making their choices, and how you have to put your own choice when everyone else is at the same time is also putting forward their choices. I really learned a lot, and throughout that day, unfortunately, I couldn't finish because of my network and issues and something like that. But other than that, it was like one of the best experiences overall.
I'm glad to hear it, man. And it's simple, right? We're often like people who love cricket. We're often like forced to look at that the only way we could have a career in cricket and validate ourselves by getting a sense of achievement from it is by actually playing it. And that,
Exactly.
of course, playing it personally, it's amazing, but it's important for us to like uh, show people that that is not the only way, and you've got so
Exactly.
many other options. And I hope ISPL did provide you that experience where
Definitely. And you learn that, exactly as you said, it's just not about playing. And, it's just like when you watch the game so much, you have so much
exactly,
knowledge
yeah,
that you can use it in so many ways to benefit just not only a team, but like yourself and make some career or like a passion, a
mhm.
profession, anything out of it. That's like really the best part, as you said about it.
So getting into this, would you like to tell us a little bit about how you prepared and what your initial plans for the auction were?
I prepared a lot, to be honest. I did some extensive planning, and it was just since I play cricket personally, I just didn't do it from what I thought would be a good team. Obviously, you need to look at how other people have done. So, obviously, I've looked at successful IPL teams and how they go on at an auction and how they, suppose, for example, like team like Delhi Capitals, what they are looking at an auction and so firstly, I had to think like, do I want an aggressive team or, what kind of a team do I want? So when I thought about that, it became easy. So my plan initial was just to go for the best, be it Josh Butler, Jasprit Bumrah, Rohit Sharma, anyone. But when you obviously include all the other factors, and when you do so, when I planned about it and when I did all the reading and looked at teams like, as I said, Delhi Capitals, it's just not when you go for the best players, it's go players who will give you the best for the team. So I think that was really good. And my planning, I think, was extensive on how much I did. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. And research. Do you think it would have developed this? Doing this is just like any other um, MUN, and do you think it developed your research skills as well?
I think it did. I think it's just not like any other research that we do in school. It had a lot based on statistics. So, when you're talking about numbers, it was a really good idea for us to, not just based on names, but also based on numbers, how someone would be for my team and would be for Delhi Jaguars in that point. So I think the research was really different, and the best part about the research was that you were doing it for yourself and your team, and that the thought of the satisfaction that you would get if you made an amazing team, that obviously motivates you further for researching more and get an amazing team. So I think it was not like same how we would research for a general work or something like that, but I think it was even more interesting and better in many ways.
It's because like there is a very strong softest side to it, um,
Exactly.
and that's what makes because you're not only like if you're doing a research for maybe your math exam or your physics IA or something like that. It's,
Exactly.
it's pretty it's straightforward, right? You look at the facts and you make a research, but it's
Yeah.
interesting how we go about here because you're researching for like a very softer side as well. There's a
Exactly.
very humane element, and that is coming from the sport because it's people.
Exactly.
And that's what makes ISPL very interesting.
Exactly.
So, who would you make captain? Team mix is very important. So, who would you make the captain from your?
So when I first looked at the marquee players list, which was shared with us, the list of marquee players, my I straight away went to Rohit Sharma. Performer, leader
Get
from the
forward.
front, and run scorer, motivator. He'll do anything for your team. And that's what you look for someone. If you look at the business side, if you're paying so much money, you would want the best or most out of a captain. And I also looked at like the fact how he grooms young players, like he's groomed Bumrah, Hardik Pandya, and players like that. So when you have someone like Rohit on your team, it just not gives you a solidated opener. It also gives you a really good leader, even if he's captain or not. But I straight away wanted him to be the captain because I felt that he would lead my team. He would lead Delhi Jaguars other than like better than no one else. And I also thought about going with mostly on performance. So when you look at like since 2015, David Warner's been like the orange cap. He's always been on that list 15, 16, 17, 18. He wasn't there. 19, 20 again. He's there right now playing. So I wanted someone like that who will, no matter what is happening with my bowling unit or my fielding unit, he will score runs at the top. So someone like David Warner, who is also like an aggressive captain. So as I said, I really wanted an aggressive team which goes out there just to win and win like a by a big margin. So I wanted, yeah, but my first choice was definitely Rohit Sharma.
Obviously, Rohit is amazing. So
Any day.
I'm going to talk about a overarching theme of our auction that we had, and it was actually very surprising of how it went.
Yeah.
Which is financial crunch.
Yes.
We had 12 players, and we had
Yeah.
a budget of only 45 crores. So
Yeah.
it was going to be a very tight auction, and we saw many large spenders initially, and then it tapered off by the end of it.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, how did you plan for your financial crunch and your budgeting? And do you think that's something you improved by doing this? And how do you come about doing this when you try next time?
I think from the business point of view, what I learned is that patience is the key.
Yeah,
Just because you're seeing that David Warner is coming up and you can't like just go in, uh, 25 crores. You can't just go all in when you know at the back end, when he comes back, you can get him for a much cheaper price. So that is one aspect which I definitely missed out on. And, now when I think about it, when I also talked to you and another co-faunder, GM Ruchir, after the auction, and how you can actually improve in it, you realize that when you have money, you obviously have to think. So it definitely taught me that you have to be patient, and most importantly, you have to think of, just because you are getting that the total of all the 12 players you've thought about is adding up to 45 crores. That's not how you make a team. Sometimes you may get a player for less than what you thought or more than what you think. I feel like that's what would be important while you're making the team, because the money is limited. So, if you go on spending some on like big players right at the beginning, you need the money at the back end to work to make a full team, because team is not ran by one, it's not run by one player. You need all
Mhm.
the 11 players,
Exactly.
good 11 players to make it.
Yeah, definitely. And that is one more uh, learning from ISPL, and it's amazing, right? I'm learning while I'm doing all of this as well. Of course, me and Ruchir are co-founders, and we organize this. But every time we do it, we learn so much from it. So, would you give us any suggestions of how we could improve this experience for someone who's joining us in the next round?
I think on the top of my head, it was the best experience and the best auction you guys could have come up with.
Yeah.
As a participant first and then as a personal friend of both of you, I thought that it was as good as it can get. And talking not just from the organization point of view, but also from that you have to create jerseys, you have to create how you went about with the teams, and how you went on with the auction, and how you went on with actually doing the auction. I think it was really well. And for definitely we had the limitations of doing it online. So when suppose for example Crickheart is planning to do something live, I assume that it would be one of the best, and it was no less than a actual IPL auction for me from any angle.
And hopefully soon we can do this in person as well. uh,
Definitely, definitely.
Obviously it'll be something a little different, but it'll be more grand. It can actually be a proper
Exactly.
1 day event, and it'll be interesting how it turns out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um so so tell me about a little bit about your logo, your name, how you came
Yeah.
up with it. What?
For the viewers, my team's name was Delhi Jaguars.
Yeah.
And I personally came up with the theme Jaguars because Delhi is a royal city. It has been the city for where it's the capital of India, first of all, most importantly. So I kind of related it to something as grand as a king or a royal person. So I thought of the animal jaguar, and so it gave me that vibe that it is something really grand and big and different and unique. And uh, my tagline for my Delhi Jaguars was "Delhi se hai hum," because it goes on with how we are from Delhi, and each and every individual from Delhi is different. So, and when we all come together, we make an amazing team, Delhi Jaguars.
That's great. So, we've spoken about a lot of learnings, right? So, um, can you like summarize your top 3 or top 5 takeaways from this experience, and just suggest why our viewers should do this with us?
I think my top five number one would definitely be like, as a cricket lover, being able to, choose your own favorite team. That would be my number one takeaway. So anyone who's interested in cricket, first I'm just saying, for cricket fans, this is one of the best thing you can do, because it is so much fun when you're able to work with so many cricketers, and you actually get to make your own team. You always watch matches in the TV, and you're like, oh god, I don't want like him in my team, I don't like this guy in my team. This is your chance of making your own team. Second of all, I would be definitely, which is the most important thing in my opinion, was the business side and how efficiently you're going to spend the 45 crores. So that was one thing which I thought that was the biggest thing that you guys could think of, like how each team would come up with plans of just organizing 45 making a team with 45 crores. Then other getaways would definitely be the creative thinking of making a jersey, of making logos, of making a tagline and your theme for your team. That would be and most importantly, what I think would be is that just a sheer experience. When you're in that on that call, when the auctioneer is taking up the player's name, the excitement you have, and the excitement you have, and the competition we have, like when you really want a player and some other team is bidding for that player, how competition is, how competitive it is, that you really want that player. I think that feeling can never be replaced by anything else, and that's one really great getaway that I went with the auction.
It's a bit like playing a real sport, right?
Exactly, and it was,
Yeah.
in my opinion, like I play cricket regularly, and it was more fun. Some part of the auction was more fun than which I get from playing cricket. So that is something, sitting at home not able to play cricket, if you're doing something like this, it just not only lets you have that replacement of playing cricket, but also gives you more thrill and excitement at the same time, which is really hard to get.
Mhm. And like it is making the best of a bad situation. When no, we're in a situation
Definitely,
where
yeah.
we can't play a lot of cricket, so
Yeah,
we'll explore the other side of it, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So you've obviously, I'm pretty sure you would have gone into the auction with a lot of plans, and few of them would have worked, a few of them would have absolutely, just like any other game, would have failed. So how satisfied are you with the team that you bought?
To be honest, not satisfied about the outcome of the not satisfied about the outcome of the auction, how I thought I would be, because as someone who plays cricket like regularly, I thought that it would be, just about cricket. One of my biggest thought about this was that it would be about cricket, cricket, cricket. And since I know cricket so well, I thought I'd just kill the auction, I'd be like the best team and everything like that. But when you go in and when you see that there is so much business in it, and not just in business, the strategies and everything, it actually tests you. And in that situation, what I thought was really bad for me was going all in. And in the beginning of the auction, I went all in. I paid around 14 crores for Kane Williamson. I paid 12 crores for Kagiso Rabada, and then I went 8 crores for like Rashid Khan. And then by the end, when I needed to fill my players, I really couldn't come up with the money. So that was one really bad strategy which I went on with. But then obviously it's the first time, you obviously work for the second time, and whenever Crickheart is organizing another ISPL auction, I know how to go on about it. And more than that, which I think was a really big disappointment for me, was not being able to fully use the potential which I bought. Because when you have someone like Josh Butler, Kaiso Rabada, Kane Williamson, and you're still not able to win the best team or something like that, it obviously gives you a disappointment that why did I spend so much on such good players. So that is one. But then at the end of the day, I thought I learned a lot. So that thought of not being able to win didn't even come to my mind.
That's great. So Sumer is asking how many teams they were. Just like most private leagues around the world, we had 8 teams, and we had 8 really different kinds of owners who came with absolutely contrasting strategies. And it was, like, it was a very professional experience. Like, we did it properly.
Yeah,
But I think the interesting thing was it's a really fun and it's a very entertaining thing to do through a day, especially if you're doing it with your friends. Um,
yeah,
and I hope, and I'm pretty sure Ruchir hopes that we really made a good day out of you
definitely.
guys and you enjoyed it. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, that's it from our side. Hope you enjoyed the experience.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Anybody who wants to know more about ISPL or wants to get information about when the next event is going to be, and wants to know more about the judging and how the whole process works, please do DM us, and we will get to it straight away. We'll also, once we have enough people interested, we can also immediately set a date for the auction, and we could
Yeah,
start it. So, anybody who's interested, please DM us. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, Shovik.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ritesh. Have a nice day.
Bye. Have a nice day.